Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. Here is Rob Placone and Steph Zamorano. Hi, everybody. They got their mugs.
Holiday
and
season.
Guess what? You can get them right down there. You can get a link. Thank you for supporting the show. I know people get annoyed by this, so we'll move on. Hey, so guess what happened? Donnie Tanahan's Trump did this. It says, kiss of death. World leaders slam embassy move. Leaders around the world are incensed over Trump's Jerusalem decision. So here's from the Huffington Post. President Donald Trump sparked an uproar among leaders across the world after he signaled that he would be recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital and moving the U.S. embassy there, upending decades of American foreign policy and potentially thwarting any hope for Israeli-Palestinian peace talks. The embassy move would represent the kiss of death to the Israeli-Palestinian peace process, said Manuel Hassassian, the Palestinian representative to Britain, an issue Trump has delegated to Jared Kushner, his son-in-law and advisor. Jordan's King Abdullah II and Saudi Arabia's King Salman made similar warnings. So this is really antagonizing the Arab community all over the globe. This doesn't get you anything. Israel already is beholden to us, but it's actually the other way around. The United States is beholden to Israel. But if we didn't support them, where would they go? Who else would be their champion? No one, right?
Yeah.
So it's the tail wagging the dog. Again, as always, Israel. So American politicians pander to people who are pro-Israel in the United States and AIPAC, and instead of pandering to people in the United States, they, full stop. They're pandering to people who are pro another country. Sounds like what people are upset about Donald Trump doing with Russia, but it's okay to do with Israel, I guess. Mr. Trump, Jerusalem is the red line of Muslims, said Turkey's president on Monday. He additionally threatened to cut Turkey's diplomatic ties with Israel. Turkey, our friend, NATO partner, Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
The Arab League also opposed the move, with Secretary General Ahmad Abul Gheit saying it was a dangerous measure that would have repercussions. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also cautioned Trump against taking measures that would undermine the chances of peace in the Middle East. Just about everybody's got a problem with this.
Yeah, doesn't seem to have many support.
Even here in the United States, the Justice Democrats tweeted this out. The Justice Democrats, that's headed by Kyle Kulinski and Cenk Uygur and a bunch of people from Bernie's campaign, or some people, not a bunch. Trump's actions in Jerusalem is reckless and will produce unnecessary chaos and violence. He will risk anything to use hatred to serve his greed. That's Justice Democrats. Here's Code Pink. We love Code Pink here at the Jimmy Dore Show. Firebrand real Donald Trump is an arsonist. His recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital is meant to unleash a firestorm, and it will. Sad. Okay, so this is the thing closest to what previous presidents have done, provoking war, right? With the way the United States did in South Vietnam, how we did in Iraq, how we did in Libya, how we did in Syria, how we're doing in Somalia, Yemen, all over the place. So this is his first move like that.
So what you're saying is, it is at this moment he became presidential.
I would say this is the moment that Mr. Trump became President Trump. In the words of Zakeed Ferrari. Can you imagine people saying that stuff? Here's from political Josh Meyer. He says, just before the president's speech on Jerusalem, a very senior diplomat from a U.S. ally in the Middle East emailed to tell me, I think that this decision is remarkably ill-advised and is one that will prove to be detrimental to U.S. interests in the region. So we're doing something again at the behest of Israel that's going to actually be bad for us. It's actually going to be bad for the United States. So again, we're going out there and creating our own worst nightmares. They're creating problems where there aren't any. and making problems worse where there are some. And to the standing and interests of level-headed states in the region that are that are in the column of U.S. allies and fierce proponents of peace and the two-state solution. So he's saying that this is going to screw up not only the United States' interests, but the interests of all states in the region that are allied with the United States. And anybody who's interested in a two-state solution, this is also going to kill that. He continued, I also think that this will kill any prospect for picking up the ashes and carrying on with a political track. It will, meaning negotiation between Israel and the Palestinians to come to some kind of negotiation, as opposed to what's happening right now. Israel just kills a bunch of Palestinians every once in a while that they keep locked up in their open-air prison. So it will also further the agenda of extremists and terrorists. Yep, it will. And it will grant the likes of ISIL a kiss of life after we collectively almost killed them. So we stopped supporting, finally, the United States, because of Trump, stopped supporting ISIS and al-Nusra and al-Qaeda in Syria and started fighting them. And now they are wiped out there. The war's over in Syria. That doesn't get reported much, does it, Ron?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember it being reported, Steph, that the war's
No.
over in Syria?
Is it over in Syria?
From what
that
I
war?
can, well, that's what I can. I don't know if you wouldn't. I don't know. I watch the United States news, so I don't know. I read the United States news. I have no idea. And finally, the usually very reserved Middle Eastern diplomat told me, I feel that this is the sentiment all over the Arab world and among the elites who are, like me, perplexed by the timing and by the casualty, meaning casualness, by which it is being handled. Like, this is a big deal. It's going to cause a lot of, probably a lot of violence, death, a lot of hardship. And they're just doing it like that, whatever. That's what he means. So here is Trump doing something destructive to the United States at the behest of who? Sheldon Adelson, right? Because he was his biggest donor. And Sheldon Adelson wants this. So that was a good bet on Sheldon Adelson's part. Benjamin Netanyahu wanted this, so they got it. So imagine if this was Russia. Trump was doing something like this, that the whole world was going to cause World War III and all this stuff. But he was doing it at the behest of Russia. Oh, my God. But he's doing it at the behest of Israel. So, no. Well, so what do you think about this?
Okay, I only started to, it made me reflect upon, wasn't it just last September when the United States in 2016 gave Israel over the next 10 years $38 billion?
Yes, for military. So we pledged $38 billion aid to Israel, a country that has Medicare for all or single-payer health care. We don't have it in America. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? It would cost $65 billion to send everybody to college for free in the United States, but we don't have that money because we just gave $40 billion to Israel. Boy, if only Democrats were in charge, this wouldn't happen, right? Right, Ron? If only Democrats were in charge, this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't happen if the Democrats were in charge. I mean, let's go to the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, the number one guy, Chuck Schumer. I bet he's upset about this, right?
He's furious, I'm sure.
Oh.
Yes. What?
Oh.
What?
Son of a gun. Chucky Schumer's lockstep. He's in lockstep with Trump. Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader, is in lockstep with Trump on Jerusalem. The whole world's hair's on fire. You can't go on social media without people telling you what a reckless thing this is that Trump's doing. Are they telling you this? Is this being reported as loudly as that other thing's being reported? I don't think so. Here's what Schumer said. Schumer himself said that he supported the U.S. moving its embassy to Jerusalem and criticized Trump over his indecisiveness on the issue. I'll read that again.
Wow.
The Democratic leader in the Senate, Mr. Resistance, said this. He supported the U.S. moving its embassy to Jerusalem and criticized Trump for what? For being indecisive about moving it. There's your resistance. That's what you want to say, huh?
Well, I was just going to say, out of all the things you could finally stand up to Trump, actually stand up to this administration about, that's what you pick.
That's what
Chuck Schumer picked.
to go along. He didn't stand up against them. He went along. He went
He
along
went
with
along
them.
with him and called him out for his indecisiveness.
Yeah,
That
right,
was
that's
like
right.
he was being aggressive,
Oh.
like, decide. Like this is the one time you stand up.
I misunderstood.
Yes.
It's about this.
I misunderstood what you
Yeah.
meant. You meant he stood up to Trump about being indecisive about moving
Mm-hmm.
to Jerusalem. Yeah. President Trump's recent comments suggest his indecisiveness on the embassy's relocation, Schumer told the news agency. As someone who strongly believes that Jerusalem is the undivided capital of Israel, I am calling for the U.S. Embassy in Israel to be relocated to Jerusalem. That's the Democratic leader. Schumer said the move would appropriately commemorate the 50th anniversary of Jerusalem's reunification and show the world that the U.S. definitely acknowledges Jerusalem as Israel's capital. There you go. The resistance, baby. The resistance. I mean, if there was a Democrat president, if Barack Obama was president, that would have never happened. He would have crushed Chuck Schumer and told him, get in line. So, I mean, if we had a Democratic president, we would have never moved it to
You
to
bet your
Jerusalem.
hope and change.
I mean, let's watch. Yeah, damn right, Ron. Let's watch Barack Obama lay it down.
Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel, and it must remain undivided.
That's not what we meant. Wait a minute. But I'm sure if Hillary Clinton... All right, that's Barack Obama. We all knew he was in the tank for corporations and for Israel. We all knew that because of how he handled DAPL and all that other stuff. He opened the Arctic to drilling twice, and he wouldn't even give us a public option. We know all, and he made the banks bigger, and he didn't prosecute anybody doing anything, except whistleblowers. He prosecuted the hell out of them. Anyway, I'm so Barack Obama, he's a bad guy. But I'm sure if Hillary Clinton was president, she would have stopped Chuck Schumer from doing something like this. She wouldn't have done this, right? I mean, if Hillary Clinton was president, oh, wait a minute. Isn't this unbelievable? Is this almost, come on, can you get a picture of them? I want you to see how their minds are blown.
Wow.
Did you know this was coming? Did you know that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer? Did you guys know this?
That's what they mean by unity, I guess. I guess that's where they were going.
Washington. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton says she considers Jerusalem to be the eternal and indivisible capital of Israel and will be an active advocate if elected to New York Senate to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me ultimately what Donald Trump did, the Democratic leadership for decades
Have been pushing it. Yes.
and it took a Republican to finally get this?
And it took Donald Trump to do it. Chuck Schumer's been wagging his finger at Donald Trump for dragging his feet on doing this. Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate, has been wagging his finger at Trump for being indecisive about doing this. He said, you better do it.
Couldn't think of anything else to criticize the guy for.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, he's like, I mean, that's the only thing that's bothering me. I'll go to a baseball game, see if I can figure other stuff out. But
So I'm sure that's how they're reporting this at MSNBC tonight, right? I'm sure that's how they're reporting this story.
I bet there's going to be a solid 40 minutes on it. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
About what's wrong with our system when both parties, there's no opposition to the parties. They're all the same.
They're going to do that, and then right after, they're going to be like, we're supposed to read this neutral statement on net neutrality, but forget it. We'll show you, Comcast. That's what's going to happen right after.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Okay, there you go. Now you know the rest of the story. Thanks for supporting our show. I get emails every day, people saying they've unsubscribed people. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not, please click subscribe and click the bell so you get a notice when we drop new videos. And if you can help support the show by becoming a patron or going into our premium program anyway or buying something, thanks for your support. Happy holidays.